Atrocious, terrible, unwatchable, hated it. Welcome back to Dramatic Evaluation. In this video, I'm going to be doing my monthly what I've been watching. A little bit late for June, but please hook me up and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment. And if you think I'm wearing pants right now, you're going to have to get real. All right, so let's get right into it. Okay, so some new stuff, some old stuff. This is a newer movie, Dolly. I watched this on AMC Plus or Shudder, maybe. I'm not sure. I have them packaged together on Prime. So this is a horror movie. Sean William Scott is in this, and I won't spoil what happens there, but it's also a female actor. I don't know her name, but she's more the lead of this movie. And basically, this is a horror movie out in the woods, crazy weirdo out in the woods, killing people, and they get caught up in it. And it's definitely low budget. It wasn't great. It was not, some high level elite horror movie. But for what it was and the budget and everything, it was decent. It had some pretty horrific horror elements in there, and it was entertaining enough where I'd recommend it if you're like a hardcore horror fan. If you're just a movie fan in general and you're kind of like whatever, not super duper into all types of horror and stuff, then you could skip this one. But it was fine. The Autopsy of Jane Doe. I never saw this movie. Pretty good cast in this. Emil Hirsch, and I can't think of his name right now. A guy from Secession and a bunch of other stuff. Man, Brian Cox, that's his name. And they are father and son, and they are doing an autopsy, a very strange autopsy on there's some supernatural element going on, and where they're kind of like perplexed by what they're discovering doing this autopsy, and just some crazy stuff happens. And it was okay, like, considering it's all contained in one room basically while they're like doing this autopsy, and that's like the whole movie essentially. You would think that would be pretty weak, like you can only do so much. It was decent what they're able to accomplish with that, but I wouldn't put this up in the upper echelon of excellent movies. It was kind of average for me, honestly. The Legend of Ochi. This is an A24 movie. I watched this on HBO Max, and man, I was into like the first half of this. This happens with a lot of A24 movies. I love A24. The catalog is wildly huge of awesome movies at this point. But a lot of the movies like kind of just trail off and do weird stuff at the end where you're just like, what the heck is this? Like, not all of them. A lot of them have great endings. A lot of them carry out all the way throughout. And it's I don't know. This one was just kind of like, it was an interesting world and an interesting concept, and what they were doing with this like species of creatures that these people like kind of hunt and fear, and a kid who kind of befriends one and kind of starts to, I guess, become one a little bit, or in a way. You'll see what I mean if you watch the movie. But it was all right. I don't know that I'd really recommend this one. It wasn't some epic movie, but it was interesting, and if you like A24, check that out. And it's, of course, 4,000 degrees, and so I need to take my jacket off, so don't worry about that. Okay, Keeper. I do not like this actor. I'm sorry about it, but she's in Orphan Black, is a big show that she was in. She's in random movies. She was in that movie The Monkey, a pretty small part. I don't know, man. She's not for me. I don't care for her. I'm not a fan of her. And this movie was pretty weird. I didn't really like this movie at all. It in the very first quarter of the movie, there was an interesting tense, some tension, and like the vibe, the horror mystery vibe of like what's going on here, and then what it turned out to be, and what ultimately, it's a horror movie, I guess, but it's just like very weak, very dream fantastical, like not just straight ahead, like here's a series of events that's happening. It was just very weird and inexplicable, and I just do not care for that type of movie, especially if it's not excellently made and acted, which in my opinion this was not. So I do not recommend Keeper. The Lost City. This is a little older movie. I never watched this because I thought it was going to be just super cheesy and lame. And you could make the argument that it is a little level of cheese to it, but it was definitely funnier, a lot funnier than I was expecting it to be. I had a good time with it. It was entertaining. It's like an action comedy kind of movie. Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock are on the run trying to escape, these people. Actually, Daniel Radcliffe plays the villain in this. Brad Pitt's in it for a minute. And they're trying to escape. The villain is trying to utilize their knowledge or her knowledge to try to find Lost City of Gold or something like that. And they're trying to get away from him and kind of also find the thing for themselves or on their own. It was fun. If you like that kind of, action adventure comedy kind of movie, I liked it. I like Channing Tatum these days. He's definitely won me over in the last few years. He's good. He can do comedy well enough. And Sandra Bullock starting to look, you can see the things she's injected into her face and the work she's getting done is finally starting to show. Everyone for a while was like, oh, she looks so good for her age and she doesn't do that stuff. She does that stuff. Look at her face. But yeah, otherwise good, pretty good movie. I was pleasantly surprised. David is a animated musical movie on Netflix. I remember my family watching this in the theater, and I watched The Housemaid instead at that time. So I got around to watching this now that it's on Netflix, and it was pretty decent. Like if you like animated movies and if you like musicals, then I'd say it's worth checking out. There was definitely some good music in it, but nothing over the top, super notable, but it was like decent enough, and it was entertaining. It's the character David from the Bible, so if you're familiar with that story, it's kind of just, that's what it is. So it's no spoilers there if you know that story, and it was decent. All right, let's talk about this one, The Bride. Atrocious, terrible, unwatchable, hated it. There's probably some people out there that loved it, maybe, I don't know. But not for me, man. Not for me. Hated this movie. The worst intro of the movie. Okay, so I like this actor. Jessie Buckley, I think, is who it is. I've seen her in other movies like Men. She's in Hamnet. I haven't watched that yet, but I've heard that, I think she won an award for that movie. But I've seen her before. She's a good actor. And she is a good actor in this. It's just so annoying and weird and inexplicable. She like splits time between like 3 different characters or voices, accents, and most of the time she's just yelling nonsense, just super annoying, random, inexplicable words and nonsense things, and just like yelling them out. And it is so annoying. It is so anxiety inducing. It is atrocious. I hated it. I hated every moment of this movie. It's terrible. In the beginning, the animator, it's Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein, and so they like animate her from a dead body. And when they do that, she's like spitting up or like throwing up black like liquid or whatever. And then just tattoos on her face. The whole rest of the movie, she's just got like the black stuff like sprayed out of her mouth, like just across her cheek, and that's just like, and then people like, for whatever reason, like love her and like start like emulating her and dressing up like her and put makeup on like that. Why would that stay on her face? Why would that be tattooed on her face? It was liquid that came out of her mouth that would just wash off. You know what I mean? So dumb, and I hated it. Hated everything about it. Couldn't stand it when she talked, and she didn't talk. She only ever yelled the entire time, and it was so unwatchable. I had to get through this in like 4 different chunks. I hated it. Not for me. And the last movie, I didn't watch a lot of movies, so we'll go to shows after this, but Little Brother on Netflix. This is John Cena and Eric Andre. I love Eric Andre. He's hilarious. John Cena started to win me over in the last few comedies that he's done. He's not terrible. He's decent for what these movies need out of him. He can get it done. And Eric Andre is so hilarious, dude. I love Eric Andre. And so this movie is just kind of I don't know. It's just like all these comedies, the handful of comedies that have been coming out in recent years. It's just on par with that. It's just like not super hilarious. There's a funny joke or moment here or there throughout it, but it's not, I don't know. They just don't do comedy movies like they used to. It's just a very different like style and vibe, and they're just not as funny. So I don't know. I don't know that I'd recommend this one. You can check it out if you want to, but it wasn't like some great and hilarious movie that I think you need to watch or anything. And moving on to shows, I can't remember if I talked about this show or not because I started season 1 last month, but Brea, I finished season 2 and season 3 of Brea. Decent, definitely not upper tier, not Breaking Bad style of a show. There's a good level of cheese in this show. It is not, a high level quality, but it's pretty good in the making you want to watch and see what happens next kind of thing. Like they're leaving you off on. It's a good continuation of like the action and adventure and the mystery. A lot of like mystery of like what's going on, how are they in this place, how do they get out of this place, what's happening here. And they do a good job of keeping you engaged and wanting to see what happens next. But it's not like high level quality. It was just kind of, it was all right. Rooster on HBO Max. This is Steve Carell. I'm going to watch pretty much anything Steve Carell is in. He is awesome. I love Steve Carell. He's so funny. And he's great in this show. He's like an author, and his daughter teaches at the school. She's going through a divorce. She's the worst character ever, by the way. I don't know if you're even meant, I think you're meant to like her. She's terrible. Don't understand how anyone could like the character. She's an idiot. Did not like that character, but he goes to like kind of like console or help her dealing with this like divorce and her personal situation, and then he ends up getting a job at the, like they want him to work at the and teach at the university, and so he stays there and teaches, and then it's kind of just whatever happens. It's kind of like it's like a dramedy, like drama comedy. But yeah, I recommend this for sure. If you like Steve Carell at all, like definitely check this out. It was pretty solid. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I did end up liking this and thought it was a pretty good show and pretty good story, but I was thrown in the beginning, man. The tone, I cannot believe this is a Game of Thrones show. Like there's Game of Thrones, there's House of Dragons, same tone, same vibe, same world, everything. And then A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, another spin-off of Game of Thrones, and it's straight up a comedy. Wildly different tone, a different vibe compared to the main show and House of the Dragon. And it just blew my mind. I'm like, why are they even, just make this something else? I know it's based on the books or whatever, but like, it just does not feel like Game of Thrones. It was just a weird choice to make this like comedy like this. And I was just thrown off by that in the beginning for sure. But then once I got into the story and the characters and what was happening, like I did end up liking it, and it was good. The Beast in Me on Netflix. This was solid. This is a little limited series. Claire Danes, and man, I don't know the guy's name. I should look this up because he's in the next show I'm going to talk about. But this dude kind of has come out of nowhere, I feel like, and he's solid. He's a great actor, and he's in these two like pretty solid shows. But basically it's like this guy. He's like a rich, like powerful guy. He like moves in near this person who's an author, Claire Danes, and he was suspected of killing his wife in the past, and that's like known, but like he didn't get like convicted of it. And so then other people like go missing, and she's like suspicious that it's him, and you see everything unfold. So it's kind of like mystery and like a drama thriller, and it was solid, man. I liked it. It was a good beginning to end, and the finish and everything. I thought this was solid. I recommend that for sure. And then Widow's Bay, the other show that he was in, highly recommend. This is getting a lot of hype, I think, everywhere I'm seeing. It's being touted as like a awesome, solid new show. Pretty sure it got greenlit for season 2 already. But this is really good. In the beginning, it kind of reminded me of the vibes of like Midnight Mass, where it's like, if you've seen that, it's like this island community, like these people that live on this island in this little kind of like little bay town by the sea on an island. And this guy's the mayor, and he's trying to like revitalize the tourist, like make it more of a tourist attraction, and akin to like Martha's Vineyard is what he kind of is trying to do. But it's got this like curse on it, so there's people that live on the island are like, oh, there's this curse, you can't bring people here. Everything's like going crazy right now with the curse. So it's kind of like a horror, but it's also like comedy. It's kind of like horror, comedy, drama, all rolled into one. And I think that they do it well. It's not cheesy comedy. It's not crazy over the top horror. So if you're not a horror fan, you can still enjoy this, I think. It was really good, man. I really enjoyed that show. I recommend it 100%. And it's on Apple TV Plus, so of course it's good because all their stuff is good. And the last thing I watched was The Boroughs, but I did a video specifically about The Boroughs a couple weeks ago. So if you want to know my thoughts on that, check out that video. And I won't really talk about that here. And that's pretty much it, man. June was a pretty light month, I would say. If you saw last week's video I put out about Crimson Desert, most of my time in June was taken up by playing that game. So I think my watching of movies and shows suffered a little bit because of that game. But yeah, check out that video if you like games at all. Can't get my throat clear. Keep clearing my throat and then frog in my throat. So sorry about that. It's going to come through, and I can only edit so much out without having to just have it in there. And so it is what it is. So annoying. I am getting so annoyed by that. Anyway, video's over now, so I don't have to worry about it. Thanks for watching. Appreciate that. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Please leave a comment. The comments really help. And I would love if you guys could comment on the video. Stay tuned. Until next time.